You're going to have to get your hands dirty with this one. So first things you're going to do is you're going to crack one. And in this pot, I'll put some hibiscus leaves and let them boil. Now that they're boiling, so about 5 minutes in, you want to put darlings, thank you so much for stopping by and visiting with me on today in my kitchen. So what are we going to do today? Today I am going to do something special because let me take you back just a little bit so you can understand. Last weekend, Sunday to be exact, we had a few friends over because you know, we got a few couples we hang out with that we absolutely adore, by the way. But one of them was celebrating a birthday, and I didn't find out until I think that Saturday evening or something like that. But we found out it was his birthday, and so because we found out it was his birthday weekend, I decided that, oh, I'm going to make him a special dinner for his birthday. They can come over for dinner, and we're going to make him a special dinner. Well, I made the dinner, and we actually did a video of the dinner and videos of, you know, everybody enjoying the food and things like that. But some of the video got compromised. Who did it? Anyway, so some of the video got compromised and we were unable to, well, I was unable to really edit it and put it together like I really wanted to put it together for you guys. But I will be able to put some clips in with it so you can just kind of see some of the things and how much we enjoyed ourselves. However, I really wanted to share that recipe with you guys. So what I did was I came back a few days later and redid that particular recipe because I wanted to share that with you guys. What was the recipe? Glad you asked me that question. The recipe was lobster rolls. What are lobster rolls? I'm glad you asked that question. It's actually just my take on an egg roll, but it's made with lobster. Miss Kim, who can go to the store and be buying lobster to make egg rolls out of it? That's expensive. Yes, lobster is expensive. You're absolutely right. However, number one, I just splurged for a friend. Number two, don't have to spend as much money as you think. Here we go. You have your regular lobster, regular size. You go to the grocery store, you go to a restaurant, they're sitting in a tank. You point at one and say, I want that one right there. They pull it out, steam it for you or whatever. But there's another option. You can use Langostino lobster. Usually you find, what's Langostino lobster? Oh my God, let me explain. It's a lobster, but it's about that big. It kind of looks like a shrimp, but it's not a shrimp. It's a lobster. And what you can do is go buy the Langostino lobster at any grocery store in the seafood section. Is usually in the thing where the frozen stuff is. You know, like you get frozen shrimp and stuff like that. It's usually in that section. I went to Costco's and bought a big bag. It was like 2 or 3 pounds. And it costs 20 bucks. You usually spend about 25 bucks, at least where I am, for one lobster. And so 20 bucks for 2 to 3 pounds of Langostino lobster tail, yes, huh, as my daughter would say, yes, huh. Yes, that's what I did. So, and I actually had enough to not only make the lobster rolls, but I had enough a few days later to make some pasta with the Langostino lobster, and it was absolutely heavenly. So I decided I was just going to remake this recipe because I wanted to share that with you guys. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and share it. Now, you won't see me eating the lobster rolls at the end of this video like you normally do, because when I make them, they go fast. I didn't have time. I barely had time to take a picture because my husband likes them. So, you know, I took the picture and came back and the plate was gone. So you guys just stay tuned. Hold on tight. And here we go. Okay, so now for this particular recipe, it's going to go pretty quick. So we're going to need a big old bowl of fresh spinach. You know, that's like 3 or 4 cups. And then we'll need some shredded cabbage and carrots. You could just buy the coleslaw mix. Save you some time. We're going to need an onion, but we're only going to use half of this. 2 cloves of garlic. We're going to use a little rosemary. And some langostino lobster. Okay. And egg roll wraps. And then we're going to also get started with this one by just chopping up some of our rosemary. Sometimes, usually I use scissors for it, but today because I'm trying to go for a fuller flavor, I'm going to chop it up with my trusty little knife here. My Hampton Forge knives that just are the bomb. They make quick work of everything. And they're not expensive. I'm on a budget, y'all, so I have to be careful with my money. So, okay, so we cut up our rosemary, and it's going to go mixed in with our filling for our rolls. And then we're going to crush 2 cloves of garlic. And remember, I told you when you crush the garlic like that, it releases more flavor, and it makes it easier for you to cut the garlic up. You can mince it a little easier when it's flat. So we're going to cut that up and make that minced. See how nice that went? Very quick, very easy. And we're just going to throw that over in there into this bowl over here because we're going to cut up some onion. And then we'll be about done with what we need to cut up. So we're only going to use a half onion. This is a rather large onion, so I might not even end up using the half of it. But we're only going to cut up half. And remember, I told you guys, I always keep a trash bowl close by. Let me show you what one I'm using today. And I just throw all my little trash in there as I'm going. Keeps you from making a big mess at the counter, and it keeps you from having to walk back and forth to the trash can. So that's how that works. Cut off the end, and we're going to slice up our onion, and then cut that into smaller pieces. And you want to kind of, with your onion, because this is like an egg roll, you want to try to cut it up kind of fine. You don't want it so big that when people bite into it, they get great big huge chunks of onion. So we're going to mince that, which makes it easy. Pardon my knife skills. Onions flying everywhere, people. And then we're going to put that over into the bowl. Now, alrighty guys, here we go. So we are getting ready to make our filling for these rolls. What we're going to start with is we're going to start with our onion in the bottom of the pan. I've already sprayed a little cooking spray in the bottom of the pan so that it doesn't stick. So we're going to do our onions and garlic, which is in there together. And y'all know I like the sound of the sizzle, so don't be shocked. I do like the sound of the sizzle. So now as that starts to cook down, and you know I always tell you to look for the glossy look when you start cooking there. When it starts to get glossy like that, then you know you're doing pretty good. Just don't stop before they get black, people. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drop our rosemary in with it while it's cooking so that it can give it that extra flavor. And we're going to put it on medium high because we want it to cook kind of fast but not too fast. And there it is. There's the sizzle. So now as that cooks down, we're going to add in our shredded cabbage. Until it cooks all the way down to the point where it's kind of, I want to say, oh, that's a big piece of cabbage in there, isn't it? Look at that. What kind of bag? But we're going to cook it down until it's wilted. you know, so that we can get our spinach on top, because we don't want to try to put the spinach and the cabbage in together, because then stuff will start flying out of the pan. You don't want to go through that. So we're going to cook this down, and then we're going to... Okay, so now we got our cabbage, shredded cabbage and carrots and onions and garlic all wilted down and sauteed well. We're going to add in our spinach. Let that get wilted some. And while it was cooking, we put in some sea salt, a little dried onion, and we're going to let this spinach wilt down, and then we're going to add in our lobster. Alright, so now we're going to add in our lobster, and what I did was I cut it up a little more and minced it some so that it's small enough inside of the wrappers, so it's not causing the wrappers to break open when we cook them, because we're going to pan fry them instead of deep frying them. You couldn't cook them in the oven, but people in my house are hungry right now, so we're going to do it the fast way. So now when you get all that in, what you want to do is get you about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and sprinkle it in, because the cornstarch is going to thicken up your mixture and make it stick together, so that when you are wrapping them into the wrappers, they don't fall apart. That it doesn't like just fall all over the place. And you don't have to use cornstarch. You can use a little flour. You can use rice flour. You can use wheat flour. You can use bean flour. But you need to put some kind of thickening agent in there. It just makes it easier to work with. So now we're going to cut this off and go over to the counter and wrap up our rolls. Okay, so now we've gotten back over to the counter, and we're going to roll up some of our rolls. So we have our mixture. We've taken it out of the pan, of course, and put it in a bowl. And you're just going to take your spoonful and drop it in the middle. Then you're going to take your, see if you can see that. Then you're going to take your egg roll wraps, fold this way, and then we're going to fold this way. And how you get it to stick, you just take a little water and brush on the very end, and there you go. Now make sure when you're rolling up your egg rolls that you keep a paper towel close by, because what will happen is when you put your little water on the corner, your cutting board or your cutting sheet or wherever you're doing your rolling is going to start to get wet, and then your rolls will start to tear open because of the moisture while you're rolling them, and that's what you don't want. So that's why I'm saying keep a little paper towel close by so that you can dry the surface. Okay, so we're going to roll all these up and then get them ready rolled up, most of them. So we're getting ready to start dropping them in the oil. Okay, so now we have our oil already in the pan. It's already hot, as you can see. We're just going to drop those down in. And what I did was a mixture of grapeseed oil and avocado oil, because they have a high heat tolerance, so it burns well. But the good thing about this is you can actually put this on medium and cook these pretty quickly. And you don't want to overcrowd the pan, so you got to be careful with that. And then see how it already turned brown? Everything on the inside of these are already cooked, so you just need it to brown on both sides. Alright, so we're going to finish that up, and then we'll be ready to eat. Alrighty, so our lobster rolls are done in a matter of minutes. We're pulling the last of them out now. And the reason they're popping so much, guys, is because me and my crazy self forgot to dry off the end of my tongues after I washed them, so they were still a little wet. So, you know, anytime you hit water and oil, you get explosion. I've already cut it off, so don't worry. I've already cut it off. But here are our finished. Alrighty, my darling, so there we have it. We taught you how to make some lobster rolls, and I promise you, if you try the recipe, you're not going to be disappointed. I'm telling you, you can use it for, you can have them for dinner. You can actually kind of dress them up, put some veggies with it or whatever, and make it a whole meal. Or you can have them for lunch, and just make some little light, 2 or 3 of them, and put your little salad with it, call it a day. You can even use these for like a light snack in the middle of the day. They are so versatile. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. So if you like what you saw today, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe, or subscribe and like. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's on something, one of them. So do that for me. And share. Share the video. It's called sharing togetherness, you know. So share the video with some other people that you think may be interested in some of these recipes that I do. So just like and subscribe and share that whole thing, and then we're all right. So now, if there's anything else that you would like to know, or any other recipes you would love to see me do, put something down in the comment section. I read everything. I read all the comments, and I try to answer as many as I can. And if you see something that you really, really want, and you say, Miss Kim, I want you to show me how to boil some water. Guess what? Miss Kim will do a video on boiling water just for you. So, thank you so much again, guys, for stopping by. I truly, truly appreciate it. I'm so very grateful that you guys take the time to watch little old me do something that I love to do. So thank you again. I love you. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and happy cooking. My lovely friend and sister Tasha. Yeah. Tasha Carter. And so Tasha came by, and Parmesan, what is it, this Parmigiano Reggiano. There's so many different types of cheeses, and I like them all. Somebody needs to find me a hotline, because I have an addiction to cheese. That's why I couldn't be vegan, because they told me I had to give up cheese, and I had a problem with that. So, and if you know of a cheese hotline, let me know. So, now when you and drop some capers in. That's a couple of forks full. Those are capers.
What are capers?
You know, I couldn't tell you. But I know they taste good.
So what type?
Alrighty.
The mock potatoes. The mock potatoes.
The mock potatoes.
I have served my friends, and apparently I'm guessing it's good. And so I'm gonna go get dessert ready. Wow.